And I apologize, the gentlelady's time has expired. Mr. Carbjal is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to all our witnesses that are here today. And I want to start by one of the things I like about this committee is that we're pretty bipartisan. But every once in a while, the partisan beast comes out. And I'm sure it happens from both sides of the aisle. This is my third term here. The administration from the other party, not in power, is oftentimes, depending what perspective you come to it, one is doing everything right and the other one is doing everything wrong. And I think it's important to shed light on things irrespective of the partisanship. One can argue that the agreement that President Trump reached with the terrorist Taliban in February 2020 was less than perfect. And we should call that from both sides of the aisle. And we can also argue that the exit from the withdrawal was less than perfect. I certainly can say that I supported the Trump administration and the Biden administration in its goal to withdraw from Afghanistan. But again, it's been less than perfect. And so for me, I just want to shed a little bit of light on and refresh some of the memory on some of the numbers, going back a little ways. So General Milley, I want to make sure that I understand our troop levels since the Doha Agreement that was reached with the terrorist Taliban, signed by President Trump between February 2020, when the agreement with the Taliban was signed, to January 2021. And how many troops did the United States withdraw from Afghanistan? How many troops were withdrawn from January 2017 to January 2021?
12,600 U.S. troops when the Doha Agreement was signed on that day. 8,000 NATO.
Can you repeat that again?
12,600 U.S. troops on 29 February 2020, with 8,000 NATO and 10,500 contractors, and the contractors are particularly important here. With respect to, on Inauguration Day, I'm showing 3,500 U.S. troops. That's the 2,500 advisors, and then there were some additional enablers that were there. 3,500 U.S. troops on 20 January, 5,400 NATO, and 6,300 contractors in Afghanistan on that day.
Thank you. And I only draw attention to that to show the withdrawal that started many years before. Secretary Austin and Secretary Milley, General Milley, over the course of the 20 years in Afghanistan, the United States Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction estimates that the United States spent $83 billion equipping and training the Afghanistan National Defense and Security Forces, which included almost $10 billion in aircraft and vehicles. We all saw the unexpected and appalling rate of how quickly the Afghan military folded under pressure from the Taliban. What do U.S. train and equip efforts in Afghanistan suggest about security cooperation, operations going forward? And what aspects about train and equip efforts do you think the department should reassess?
I'll turn it over to General Milley here very quickly, but I think we should reassess everything, soup to nuts. I think we put a valiant effort into providing the Afghans with a great capability, and at the end of the day, that capability was not employed because the security forces fractured and essentially evaporated. So we need to look at ourselves to see, what we did and whether or not that's the right thing to do going forward. So, Mark.
In my view, Congressman, I think when we do security force systems, one of the things we have to guard against is mirror imaging. I think from the very beginning with the Army, the Afghan Army, we wanted to create them in the image of the U.S. Army. I think our success story is the commandos with the Special Forces piece, but the broader Army became a mirror image in our tactics and our doctrines, et cetera. That's one point. Second point is the police forces. That was assigned under the Bonn Agreement in 2002 to the Germans. The Germans wanted to make Polizei and that sort of thing. And the third and last point is they became dependent upon us, contractors, U.S. Air Support, et cetera, and we have to avoid dependency on U.S. forces.
Gentleman's time has
Thank you. I yield
expired.
back.